Welcome to Canada YaEh Part 2 at Bethesda. Strawberries, hot dogs, and a special guest. We're glad you've joined us. Okay.
So everyone, as you're enjoying our Lindley Farm strawberries, this reminds me of the prelude this morning, where there's like many different joyful noises. Being piped in, as it turns out, is our special guest making her way across the medicine wheel garden with plants of healing and hopefulness tended to by Donna, is our special guest, our very proud Canadian Laura Secord. Thank you, Pipers! Laura.
I arrived at the right place.
You did.
I don't know how I got here, but I made it.
Well, it's very fitting to welcome you here on Canada Day celebration at Bethesda, and we look forward to hearing about your story as we enjoy food and fellowship. We're glad you're here. Speaking of birthdays, as it happens, Laura, you share a birthday with my wife, Janet, September 13th.
Oh, my goodness gracious. And was she born in the same year as me? 1775?
I think not.
Yes. Before I begin, ladies and gentlemen, I would just like to say how honored I am to be here today at this beautiful church and to spend some time with the good folk of Bethesda. Such a beautiful church. Oh, and I actually feel quite at home here with your connection to the United Empire Loyalists. I married a loyalist, James Secord, so I feel quite at home. And I must say, oh, thank you so much for those beautiful strawberries, Mrs. Lindley. Oh, they're just delightful. It's just wonderful to be able to share in Canada's birthday today with you all. But not just that. I hear that you, Bethesda, are celebrating a special birthday. 200 years. That's quite a milestone. Quite a milestone. Imagine, you started in 1825. Oh, I remember that year well. And I just want to give my warmest wishes to each and every one here as you celebrate such a very special birthday. And yes, I do have a birthday coming up as well.
Well, Laura, thank you for introducing yourself, and many of us will recall your crucial role during the War of 1812, where you helped to ward off an American invasion of Canada.
Well,
you've lived through a tumultuous war.
Yes,
Tell us more.
Well, thank you, Reverend. Now, you're not going to say I'm remembered for Laura Secord chocolates, are you?
Well, I can't speak for all of us. We both appreciate your heroism and the chocolates named in your name.
Oh, Reverend. I'm just really tearing up a little. Thank you so much for your kind words. You know, it wasn't till much later in my lifetime when I was even recognized for my contribution. No one seemed to care. Of course, I wasn't looking for recognition, but, you know, all this happened when I was 37 years old, and it wasn't until I was 85 until I was recognized. And that was by the Prince of Wales, who came over to our fair land, and he heard about my story, and presented me with a huge sum of money, 100 pounds. Would you like me, Reverend, to tell you a little bit about my time with the War of 1812?
I certainly would. American soldiers were occupying your home, as I recall from my history lessons, and that's where your story of courage and determination begins.
Well, in 1812, I must say it was a terrible time for me, really. It was a terrible time. Now, I know everyone has experienced hardships. I know that, and there are wars that have been going on and wars today, but I can only tell you about my experience back then, and it was, there were cannons flying off all around me in every direction. Such devastation, and the worst thing that happened was my dear husband, James, was injured, very, very traumatically injured. Now, I rushed to his side, and we got him home, and I nursed him back to health. But when we did return to home, our house had been looted, can you believe that? And our property destroyed. So, Reverend, before I tell you about my journey, should I tell a little bit about my life, perhaps?
Certainly.
Yes. Well, just to give you a little background, I was born in Massachusetts. Yes. And my father, well, I should tell you, my mother sadly passed away when I was only 8 years old. So my father, Thomas Ingersoll, packed us up, and we headed to Upper Canada. And my father had been given a tract of land. I believe today the land is called Ingersoll. I don't know if you've heard of that area, but we didn't stay there in Ingersoll. We headed towards the Niagara area. That's where we landed. And soon I met my husband, the James Loyalist. We were married. We lived in St. David's for a while, and then we ended up in Queenston Heights. You might have visited my homestead there. We had 7 children. Yes, 7 children. Oh boy, poor James though. 6 daughters and 1 son. Are you interested about my actual experience?
Well, I thought maybe it would be hard for you to share it, given how traumatic it was. But if you're up to it, we would like to hear all about the Beaver Dam and your courageous journey to tell us about the American invasion, the occupation of your home in Queenston, and what happened as a result.
Well, yes, I must say, and you may wonder, why would I do such a thing? Why would I make a journey, which was 20 miles, to warn the British, or to warn, the British, that the Americans were going to make an invasion? And so I just can answer that by telling you I did what I had to do. I had to protect my family. I had to protect my village of Queenston Heights. So I would do what any of you would do, and I just knew that I must do this. So, of course, it wasn't a thing that a woman would do back then, of course. And this was the summer of 1813. It was a very hot day in June, just like this month, although 1813. And when I heard about the Americans planning a surprise attack on the British, I decided I would just make the trek. It was 20 miles for me through swamp and forest, through the countryside. It was very dangerous for me, very dangerous, because there were many Americans stationed all around patrolling the area. I could have been easily captured, but I know that God gave me the courage. God gave me the courage and the strength to do this. And I must tell you, Reverend, that something very special happened that day. One good thing on that journey that was so dangerous, I came onto an encampment of Mohawk warriors, and they were allies. So I told them my story, and would you believe they guided me to the outpost at Beaver Dams, where the British were at the time, under, I believe it was Lieutenant Fitzgibbon. Yes, my husband also served under Sir Isaac Brock. You may have heard of him. But anyways, I made it there under a great deal of stress, but I know God gave me the grace to get there. And I warned the British, and so they were able to turn history around for us. Yes, Reverend, do you remember how it all ended? I'd like to just tell you that's kind of the end of my story, and the rest is history.
Well, Laura, in that history, we may remember. If not, we need to embrace the warning you delivered allowed those British and those Mohawks, and I believe there was some Canadian militiamen as well, to prepare an ambush which led to the American defeat at the Battle of Beaver Dam. Your courageous and treacherous walk was significant to Canadian history that we celebrate on July 1st and now today, because it contributed to our victory in the War of 1812, preventing even, it is said, a potential American invasion. And had that happened, who knows what the shape of Canada may be today. So thank you, Laura, for your life's journey, for your heroism. And my last question to you is, as July 1st comes up, that date of Confederation, July 1st, 1867, were you around on that auspicious day, Laura?
I'm very, very proud to tell you that yes, I was alive in 1867 when our nation became Canada. And granted, I was 92 years old, but I was there, a very proud Canadian.
Thank you so much, Laura. And now we are going to have a little Confederation quiz. And we spoke earlier today as Canadian values and United Church values, one of them being honor. So you will be on your honor system to remember how many correct answers you have given.
Oh, Reverend, will there be a prize?
There most certainly will be. A lovely prize.
Oh.
I'm kind of sad that, as the host, I'm not able, and as bearer of the answers, I'm not able to participate. But please have your honorable thinking caps on for this little quiz.
Reverend, what is the prize?
We'll save that for the end. No preview.
Seems to have my name on it. Oh,
Oh, it does? Oh, well, go ahead.
Yes.
Maybe it'll sharpen the desire to answer
Secord.
questions.
Laura Secord, butter, and cream fudge.
Laura Secord, let me see that. Laura Secord, butter and cream fudge. Oh, indeed. Turn sideways, please. You can see the profile is very similar. Identical, in fact. So, on to our questionnaire. The fathers of Confederation, fathers at that time, were all men that attended these conferences. Which city was not part of the Confederation Conference? Name a city that you think was not part of the Confederation Conference.
Montreal?
Nope.
Toronto?
Nope.
New Brunswick?
It's kind of ironic. Not part of the Confederation Conference, this city. Ottawa! You are right. So remember that. Donna, it's a point for you. Put that in your remembrance cap. Let's see those candies again. Okay. The second conference included a delegation from a maritime province. There were now representatives from Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, Prince Edward Island, New Brunswick, Canada East, and Canada West. Who chaired this second important Confederation Conference? Any guesses? The chair of this second conference in Charlotte, after the Charlottetown Conference.
Sorry, what was the year?
The year was 1867. Not quite there yet. No, it was not Sir John A. Macdonald. I'll tell you what. If this were golf, there's a thing called a, what's that? Not a mulligatawny, that's a mulligan. That's it. So I'm going to give everyone a mulligan on this question because the person chairing that second conference was a person of French background, one of our two founding nations. His name was Etienne Pachel Taché. Saying after me, Etienne. Etienne. Pachel. Taché. You have all named him, so you all get 1 point. Okay, moving along. So, the new formed country was not easy. This is very interesting. The British were concerned that calling our new country the Kingdom of Canada would anger the United States. I think it'd make them pretty happy now, but that's beside the point. So they deliberately did not name our new country the Kingdom of Canada, but rather the Dominion of Canada, based on a passage in which psalm? You may have heard it earlier this morning.
Oh, Canada.
The psalm, not the song. The psalm. Oh, I hear a voice in the wilderness.
72.
72. You are correct. So, keeping tally of those correct answers, remembering the mulligan on the tally. The Confederation Act was given royal assent on not July 1st, but March 29th. But the document stated the official date of union as being July 1st, Canada Day. Almost another gimme. The first Prime Minister of this new Dominion was?
Johnny McDonald.
Only those who were quick enough to speak will get credit for that. Even though I'm sure we all could have answered. So are you keeping tally of the correct answers so far? Okay, moving on. We're getting close to the end. And the chocolates are remaining fresh and unmelted, ready for the lucky recipients. I see Laura has absented herself from winning her own box of chocolate and instead is helping herself to a piece of cake. Good for you, Laura. Okay, back to the quiz. Although not considered provinces, Canada has 3 territories that are part of the Union. The Northwest Territories, created in 1870, the Yukon Territory in 1898, and the most recent territory, formed territory in our country, created in 1999. The name.
None of it.
I heard this first person.
None of it.
And
None of it.
we will have all of it, not none of it, including the answer. And your name is?
Bonnie Lacroix.
Bonnie Lacroix. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Thank you, Bonnie. So hold on to that tally. And I'm now searching. This is quite a long quiz, but I think we should really wrap it up. So I would like to choose a ringer of a question for the last one. Let me see. No, not that one. Okay. All right. The third conference for Confederation, 3 of 3, lacked the presence of 2 colonies that had previously been in attendance at the other conferences. The unofficial history of Confederation says that in a slogan that has become famous, those 2 colonies weren't present at this third conference, although they're in our Confederation, because, according to the unofficial history, they were gone fishing. So, who were these fishermen and fisherwomen, I would guess? missing colonies at this third and final Confederation Conference? No.
Newfoundland and Nova Scotia.
No.
Nova Scotia?
No. There's two. Oh, so putting some of that together.
Newfoundland and PEI?
Newfoundland and PEI. The man in the Canada Day coloring red shirt has answered that question correctly. Thank you, Tom. So that ends our quiz. And has anyone, on your honor, and did anyone receive 5? Or answer correctly 5? No. Okay. Going once. Going twice. 5 is out. Does anyone honorably have a correct answer count of 4? 1 person. Going once. Going twice. There is not a tie, and so 4 is the highest amount. So, Bonnie, am I remembering that correctly? My memory is poor and it's also short, but I'm glad I've got it. So, so thank you for sharing in our Canada Day celebration, Bonnie. Please return anytime, and congratulations on those 4 right.
Thank you for coming along. Please join us next Sunday at Bethesda at 10:30 for the Spirit, our Sustainer. Please come and join us then, and have a blessed and wonderful Canada Day 2025 in this, the True North, strong and free.